So, good morning. On the rookie minicamp field for the 49ers over the end of this past week, a couple players stood out with just the they brought. And one of them was an undrafted free agent. He was a receiver, big time name in college, injury and 2 years at Texas, but is now fully healthy. He's now a 49er. And his name is Isaiah Neyor. And his tape looks like this. There's dominant moments on tape, and just wait until you see Isaiah Neyor's athletic score. This is a track star, 4.4040, 6'4, 218 pounds. He played at Wyoming, which you see here. Played only a few snaps at Texas, so you're not going to see any Texas film. But then he played at Nebraska. He's got a crazy wingspan, catch radius, so he can make plays like this in traffic. And he also has game-changing speed, as you can see here, moving downfield. I mean, this is a prospect with a capital P. And I think, look at the double move against San Jose State, playing in the Bay Area. This was Isaiah Neyor during an early college career game. He scored 12 touchdowns for Wyoming, his first season getting full playing time. So that's a really, really brief look at Isaiah Neyor's tape. We could take another look at it in a little bit. He was on the 49ers practice field the other day, and I was able to get this video. We're able to show up to 90 seconds a day, and this is some of it dedicated to Isaiah Neyor. 6'4", 218 pounds, 4.4040. Just wait till you see the relative athletic score. I mean, obviously looks the part. And now people are going to be asking, well, how did the 49ers get this guy as an undrafted free agent? And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about his potential. We're going to talk about his weaknesses. But that is Isaiah Neyor at 49 rookie minicamp practice the other day. Take a look at this. Here is the relative athletic score for Isaiah Neyor. It's nearly perfect, 989. So over 6'4" on the height column, weight 218 pounds. So he's a big receiver as well, which means that this guy can theoretically block in Kyle Shanahan's offense at a dominant level because he's got the size specifications to do that. The explosion grade is elite, a 38-inch vertical. His broad jump is over 11 feet. I mean, we're talking about Marquise Siegel, who was the best broad jump of the 49ers drafted players the other day. This is a whole different level. That was 10 feet, 10 inches. This is over 11 feet. It's a 986 score on the explosion for the broad jump. 4.40 speed on the 40. So as I was saying the other day, there's a difference between 4.47 speed and 4.40 speed. And that's nearly a 4.3 at 6'4", 218. We are dealing with a serious athlete here. Good 10-yard split. I would say great 10-yard split. It's shaded in green. Now, the 10-yard split, it takes him a little bit longer to get going, which would make sense given the fact that he's 6'4". So the 10-yard split is merely good at 1.56. But he can really get going over a longer period of time, which starts to tell you, and we've seen the tape, it suggests deep threat is possible here. The agility grade is good and not great. So this is more of an outside wide receiver than an inside wide receiver. He's going to be better on a straight line, exploding, than he's going to be in short spaces. Again, typically the bigger the body, the more you see this. But the wingspan is, I think, what should excite people the most. And this is also an outside receiver trait. Zooming in on the arm length, 34.38 inches. We talk about that as being good arm length for Michael Williams. We talk about that as being good arm length for tackles who are 6'7", sometimes even 6'8". This guy's 6'4", which is good size, obviously, for a receiver, but the arm length is about the same, 34.38 inches for Isaiah Neyor. So tremendously impressive catch radius. Great speed, great explosion. What is there not to like? Consistency was the issue in college for this guy, but there also wasn't really a runway for great consistency for him. Consider the college career for Isaiah Neyor. This is a player who initially started at Wyoming. His 2021 season at Wyoming featured 44 catches, where 12 of those were touchdowns. So you want to talk about a red zone weapon. 12 of his 44 catches the first year he saw extensive playing time were touchdowns at Wyoming. Then he transferred to Texas, where this was a big name transfer because of his early success at Wyoming with those 12 touchdowns. There was a lot of hype when he transferred to Texas, which is obviously one of the preeminent programs in the nation. During preseason camp in 2022 at Texas, he tore his ACL, which meant that he didn't play for all of 2022. There was then re-injury in 2023 after he had only played in one game and logged one catch. So he basically didn't play at Texas. Very, very limited playing time in 2022 and 2023 at Texas. Fresh start at Nebraska in 2024. I don't think they had great QB play at Nebraska. They got the wannabe Patrick Mahomes, right? The quarterback at Nebraska. I don't think it was great QB play at Nebraska, but he still put up 34 catches and he delivered 5 touchdowns. The 3 drops, though, said that there were some consistency issues for Isaiah Neyor last year at Nebraska. And we could put the tape on again. Why not? Why don't we take down the relative athletic score and put the Isaiah Neyor tape up on the screen? We could watch this. We could see what we, I think, have already charted out as far as the dominant athleticism goes. I think it shows up. Look at the wingspan, the arm reach. I mean, that was there even as a youngster in Wyoming. And I think the ball tracking skills are good. I think, there might be consistency issues, but he has the ability in the tank. It's not like he's new to the receiver position. He's making nice catches here. He's using his body effectively. The next one, I think, is going to be the double move. This one, he caught in front of the safety coming over. Yeah, this is the double move at San Jose State. So we know he can perform in the Bay Area. Look at that. He just blows by him. This is, for an undrafted free agent, there is a lot to work with here if you're the 49ers. And we know that they have a need to bolster that receiving room. The 49ers got Jordan Watkins during the actual draft. Isaiah Neyor is an undrafted free agent. Watkins is the talent out of Ole Miss who is going to be more polished than Isaiah Neyor. There's a reason why Watkins went drafted, and he's fast too. Jordan's actually faster, 4.37 40, but he's considerably smaller. He's a 5'11 receiver. So these are different types of bodies, both speedsters. Watkins, they love the entire route tree that he can run. They actually said that the NFL Combine impressed them a lot with Jordan Watkins, that he was the best route runner at the Combine. That's what Kyle Shanahan said. So Watkins obviously doesn't have the same physical gifts as far as size and wingspan as somebody like Isaiah Neyor, but he's a polished receiver who produced a lot at Ole Miss, big-time SEC football for Jordan Watkins. And I'm sure that the 49ers see him as a guy who could play inside and probably outside due to his speed. Isaiah Neyor is going to be a little bit more of a developmental project for sure, because the consistency hasn't yet been there. But the ability, I think, definitely is there to work with. I don't think that this is just a traits guy who hadn't done anything. He had 34 catches for those 455 yards and 5 touchdowns at Nebraska, coming off of the knee injuries in 2022 and 2023. And he had those 12 touchdowns and just 44 receptions before the knee injuries at Wyoming in 2021. You mix that with the absurd relative athletic score that we've already taken a very close look at. Dane Brugler came out and said that this might be the best athlete in the entire 2025 draft. And the 49ers got him as an undrafted free agent. I mean, there's absolutely no downside here. There's no reason to complain about an undrafted free agent signing. The 49ers risked nothing to get potential sky-high upside. Now, maybe this guy can't figure it out at the NFL level. Maybe he drops too many passes. Maybe he never makes the team. Oh, well. You signed him as an undrafted free agent. I think he's well worth the 90-man roster spot now that he's healthy and we saw him on the practice field. Let's see how it all works out for Isaiah Neyor. But the potential upside here I think is enormous. And I think this is what you have to try to do on day 3 of the draft, either with your picks in the 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th round, or with your undrafted free agents. You should always be trying to land potential starters, no matter what you do. Howie Roseman was talking about it, and I think the 49ers subscribe to this philosophy. Take a swing on traits, and if it's a no downside swing, I mean, this is a 3-0 count. 49ers got the green light. Take as big of a swing as possible. Take a swing on starter caliber traits, and I think that Isaiah Neyor definitely has those. 6'4", 218 pounds, 4.40 40, 34.3-inch arm length, and some impressive plays on tape. Now, the consistency needs to improve. We get it. There's a reason why he wasn't a first-round draft pick, but I'll tell you this much, too. Juwan Jennings is a monster for the 49ers. Clay Kubiak, their new offensive coordinator, straight up said that Juwan Jennings is their number one wideout, while Brandon Ayuk is still hurt. And I think it was obvious last year, Juwan should have had a 1,000-yard season. Juwan was good in college as well. He was productive for the University of Tennessee. Talk to anybody at Tennessee, and they all love the guy. I'm in Nashville right now. So, when the 49ers picked up Juwan Jennings out here in Tennessee, I would talk to people, and they would just be like, oh, my God, I'm a 49ers fan now. We love Juwan. So he was good in college. He's obviously been really good with the 49ers. He's a number one guy right now while Brandon Ayuk is out. Guess where he was drafted? In the 7th round. I mean, he almost slipped to where Isaiah Neyor slipped, undrafted free agency. Now, there's different things about both prospects, but I'll say that Isaiah Neyor scores as a much better athlete than Juwan Jennings did coming out of college. So the point is that really good receiving talents, so really good talents at any position, can slip down into the 7th round or even into undrafted free agency. And the 49ers might know this better than any other team in football, because number 13, the quarterback, is going to be throwing to Isaiah Neyor during training camp. Brock Purdy, he went 262. Juwan Jennings went very late in the draft. Success story as a 7th round pick. Funny enough, the 49ers were actually hoping initially that they could sign Brock Purdy as an undrafted free agent. And they had some conversations with Brock Purdy and his camp, but they weren't sure if Brock was going to sign with them, because once you don't draft a guy, once he falls down out of that entire 7-round process and into undrafted free agency, he has free reign. He's a free agent. He could choose to sign with whomever. So the 49ers, when pick number 262 came onto the clock, they just decided not to risk it. They said, okay, well, we want this guy. We want Brock in the building. We don't want to chance it in undrafted free agency. So they decided to draft him. And I think it's smart business to draft quarterbacks, because an undrafted free agent contract by rule is only 3 years long. If you draft him, you get 4 years of team control. It's the same reason why the 49ers drafted the quarterback Curtis Rourke this year instead of trying to get him in undrafted free agency. 4 years of team control at the quarterback position is extremely valuable. You're seeing its value play out right now with Brock Purdy, who's still under control next season for the 49ers. If Purdy had only been on a 3-year contract, well, he would have way more leverage right now than he currently has for San Francisco. So it's a situation where the 49ers want to attack these valuable positions with big swings across the entire draft if they like a prospect, but they can really, really get some upside in the 7th round and undrafted free agency if guys like Isaiah Neyor are available. I will say that part of this might be a byproduct of how deep this draft was. I straight up asked RJ Gillen, one of the 49ers directors of player personnel, if they were surprised that Connor Colby, who fell into the 7th round, the lineman out of Iowa, if they were surprised that he was there. And he said, yeah, but this has been such a deep draft. I mean, a lot of guys had been staying in school and now they're coming out, and it all seemed to converge on this 2025 cycle. So a lineman like Connor Colby, who I've predicted is going to start for the 49ers at some point this year, he was available in the 7th round for San Francisco. Isaiah Neyor, this receiver with just tremendous potential because of his athletic upside, available as well, because the draft was so deep. I think you look back at some of the evaluations for Isaiah Neyor, people were saying early day 3 prospect. And he ends up slipping all the way into undrafted free agency. So, of course, the 49ers rushed to sign the guy, and he took the field for the first time in Santa Clara on Friday. So it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. Historic Stoic says that T.O. had drop issues at first, too. So Neyor dropped 3 passes in 2024 at Nebraska. His only game featured a drop at Texas in 2023, but that was in between the 2 knee injuries. 1 catch, 1 drop, and 3 drops at Wyoming. 3 drops and 12 touchdowns at Wyoming in 2021. 1 drop in 2020. That was the first year that he had a catch. So 8 drops in his college career. It's not ideal, but we don't know how it's going to translate to the NFL level. We really don't know. The people acting like they know don't. They're trying to fool you. All we know is that this player has a lot of potential. The 49ers can go for value. They should go for value at every level of the draft. But undrafted free agency is where there's the lowest risk. And with a player like this, when you see a relative athletic score like this one, there's the greatest potential upside. Now, I want to go to the 49ers roster so you can see exactly where Isaiah Neyor can fit in, where he can earn a spot on this football team. Because the receiver room, it's obviously been in a state of flux this offseason. Deebo Samuel traded to Washington. Ricky Pearsall is going to be entering his 2nd year. They've added Jordan Watkins. And they have also signed DeMarcus Robinson. Brandon Ayuk, though, I'm not counting on him to be back for week 1 for San Francisco. So I got Ayuk shaded in pink here. I've got Ricky Pearsall and Jawan Jennings as the 49ers' top 3 receivers. I would say Jennings as the number 1. Maybe I could even slide him into the Z position. Yeah, why don't we shift this? Why don't we put Jawan Jennings into the Z and Ricky Pearsall into that F position? DeMarcus Robinson played some X for the Rams last year, and he's a reliable guy, but he also might be suspended at the start of the season. So if you're missing DeMarcus for a couple games and Brandon Ayuk is also out, then all of a sudden there's a vacuum here. And I know that Jawan can play the X, and he did last year, and I know that Ricky showed a great ending to the season, but then it's really a free-for-all for the 49ers at this receiver spot. Does Jacob Cowing take the next step? Is he able to thrust himself into that top 3, or does he stay more of a gadget weapon for San Francisco? Jordan Watkins might have a lot in common with Jacob Cowing, big-time speedster, good little burst off the line of scrimmage, runs a nice route tree, might be better than Jacob Cowing. I don't know. We'll see how Jordan Watkins looks, the draft pick out of Ole Miss, but he's going to have an opportunity. But as you can see, if it's only these 4 guys at the start of the season, all of a sudden, in a position room where 6 typically are on the 53-man roster, all of a sudden there is a lot of opportunity. And the 49ers have got some real traits-based youngsters who are all on the field during the rookie minicamp the other day. They've got Tariq Owens, T.O.'s son, entering his 2nd year. They've got Isaiah, and he's a 6'3", speedster, traits-based player. And, Historic Stoic, it's funny that the comment down on the screen right now is T.O. had drop issues at first, too. So which T.O. are you talking about? Are you talking about T.O., the Hall of Famer, who delivered the catch 2 from Steve Young against the Green Bay Packers, who then went on to play for the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Bills, and the Bengals, and a polarizing player, but has been around the 49ers facility a lot more lately? Or are you talking about his son, who's actually on the 49ers now, who had some drop issues early in the offseason last year, but then played it out on the practice squad and actually, I thought, looked really, really good over the 49ers were really happy with Tariq Owens' development last year. Well, you've got him. Now you've got Isaiah Neyor. So between them 2, you've got a 6'3" guy and a 6'4" guy. Both of them very fast, both high ceiling. And then you have Junior Bergen, who I don't think really is part of this mix, but he could be a really good punt returner for the 49ers. Smaller player. If he is in the receiver mix, it will be more as a slot kind of guy. But Owens and Neyor, I think the door is wide open because of availability questions for Ayuk and DeMarcus Robinson. I think the door is wide open for Owens and Neyor to earn an opportunity early in this season. And when you look at what Isaiah Neyor might be able to bring to the table from a physicality perspective, you could see him at practice here the other day, part of the 90 seconds of footage that we're allowed to share. this is an NFL ready body. Maybe he could put on 5 more pounds of muscle, but he's already 6'4", 220. He's got a little bit more height than Tariq Owens, who's at 6'3". So maybe he could be a little bit wider, but I think that the fact that we're talking about this kind of minutia already, and we've seen the relative athletic score as good as it is for Isaiah Neyor. I think that this is exciting stuff for the 49ers. Now, we'll see how they coach him up. Leonard Hankerson's got to do a good job in that receiver room. He's got to learn the concepts. This is tremendously difficult stuff for rookie receivers. But the fact that Neyor has been in 3 programs, and you see a lot more of this across college football, can actually be a benefit because he's had to learn 3 different playbooks, 3 different sets of terminology. So some of these guys, one program their entire college career. It's becoming more and more rare these days in the NIL era. That's great and everything, but if it was only one offensive coordinator or one offensive system throughout the entire 5 or 6 years, you don't really know how quickly he's gonna pick up new terminology. I think that you actually have a little bit better intel now and a little bit more confidence that this guy can pick up new terminology since his best season came in his 3rd system in college. Now, NFL terminology is going to be a lot more complex. The NFL game is going to be more nuanced. I get all of that. There's a reason why 49ers rookie receivers, there's this reputation that it takes a while to get going under Kyle Shanahan. But every guy's going to be different. Every situation, every opportunity is going to be carved out a little bit differently. And the one that I've showed you for the 49ers is tremendously unique because of the Ayuk and the Demarcus Robinson questions. I'm open to questions about Isaiah Neyor. Let's talk. Do I think that Neyor can be a TO type if he works out? I think that's the ceiling. When you see the relative athletic score, that's the ceiling. Is that likely to be attained? No. Terrell Owens is a Hall of Fame player, one of the greatest receivers of all time. So I'm not going to put that kind of expectation or that kind of burden on a player. But I can, everybody always says, oh, Dave likes this pick, Dave doesn't like this pick. It's not about me liking or disliking draft picks. I don't like or dislike any draft pick. I sit here and I analyze strategy. I think that's what a lot of people need to understand. Like, a lot of channels yell and they're emotional and I hate this pick, I do that. It's like, you don't know if the pick is going to be good or not, so you're just setting yourself up to look like an idiot. I like to talk about the strategy here. I don't know if Isaiah Neyor would, not even a pick, it's an undrafted free agent signing. I don't know if he'll even play it down in the NFL. But what I do know is that he is an exceptionally elite athlete. He might be the best athlete in the entire 2025 draft class. And because of that, let's get this relative athletic score back up there. Because of that, he's got tremendous upside physically. And if the 49ers can work with that, and I've watched some of his tape, I see impressive catch radius, I see impressive downfield moves. If the 49ers can successfully mold this clay into an NFL receiver, he can be really damn good because he's got those physical gifts. That's what I know. T.O. had amazing physically gifts, was a raw player. Now, T.O. with Terrell Owens, not his son Tariq, who's going to be competing with Isaiah Neyor on the 49ers this year. But Terrell Owens, when he came out of Chattanooga, was a player that was more steeped in basketball background than he was in football background. So that's why he was so raw, and that's why there was still so much developmental meat on the bone. And he had those drop issues early. He had drop issues Packers in the wild card game, January of 1999. Then he overcame those drop issues. He caught the pass from Steve Young. He held on to it as he got crunched by 3 defenders at one time. And Terrell Owens turned into T.O. and turned into a superstar. And obviously the rest was history. So will Neyor follow 50% of that path? Well, he's going to be a really good receiver if he could deliver 50% of what Terrell Owens did in his career. And I don't know, but I know the strategy. I know the potential. I know the athleticism, and I could watch tape. We can all watch tape. Why don't we watch some more tape of Isaiah Neyor? Because I think tape is the way to fairly evaluate a player. Like, actually judge the guy on what he's done on the football field. And yes, there's inconsistency, but when you see some of these big time plays for Isaiah Neyor, you see some of the strength. I mean, let me just rewind that really quickly. Coming off the line of scrimmage here in Wyoming, look, he just blasts the corner. I mean, that's strength right there. That's explosion, that's strength. He's already in a position to win because he runs a 4.40. Long strides, and, he gets going, too. That's another thing. The 10-yard split isn't great, but he gets going. Here's the quarterback who thinks he's Patrick Mahomes. Tossing one up. Isaiah Neyor makes him look good. Corner of the end zone. That might have not been a catch at the NFL level, but 1 foot down in college. Here, this football thrown right in front of the safety. Not bad. How to find that pocket. This is the double move at Wyoming that I like. I paused it right there. The cornerback is cooked at this point because he's already had a chance to pick up some speed with those strides. Watch this. Within 2 seconds, he's going to have 5 yards. I mean, that he's gifted. These are physical gifts. Long strides, physical gifts. 5-yard cushion. Doesn't matter. I mean, the throw might have been a tad underthrown, but he was so open that it worked out. And he could be a red zone threat. This is a nice little slant. Let's watch where Isaiah Neyor lines up on this last one. Outside. And toughness, too. He's able to make the catch as he gets hit. Nobody is pretending like he didn't have a few drops in college, 8 over his college career. Nobody's pretending that he was the most consistent guy or the healthiest guy. He had the ACL in 2022 and then aggravated it in 2023, so he missed those 2 seasons with Texas. No, I mean, nobody is pretending that. But what we're saying is that this is a receiver with real upside, and the 49ers believe that they might have something here. What I can tell you for sure is that the 49ers absolutely have opportunity at that receiver room. We don't know if Demarcus Robinson's going to be suspended for sure, but we know that Brandon Ayuk has big-time questions regarding his availability because he's coming off of the ACL. And we know that Robinson had that DUI arrest when he was still with the Rams in December. And the Rams themselves, when deciding to move on from Demarcus Robinson, thought that a suspension might have been a danger this offseason. And the Rams, they lost Cooper Kupp. And I think they've got Puka Nacua, but I think they obviously wanted a little more veteran availability in that room. The 49ers, meanwhile, they did lose Deebo Samuel, but they're reforming that receiver room around Brock Purdy. And this is another thing I've got a go-to. Well, I'm wearing the fire department number 13 hat. This is by the Transamerica Pyramid in San Francisco. These are the guys that have the signed Brock Purdy jersey because you get it, fire department number 13. I've done we've got to do a show from the firehouse. I think that would be really cool. But if you're ever walking down, I think it's on Sansom in the financial district, kind of Jackson Square, San Francisco, over by the Transamerica Pyramid, and you walk by Fire Station 13, you could see there. I'm sure the guys would be happy to, if they're not busy at the time, you could see their number 13 Brock Purdy jersey. They've got it framed up on the wall there. It's a centerpiece. It's also Cody Ross's number, the San Francisco Giants legend from the 2010 World Series. He wore number 13, and he came by and he gave him a signed number 13 jersey back in 2010 when the Giants beat the Texas Rangers. And Cody Ross had all those big hits throughout the playoffs, especially against the Phillies. He had the 2 home runs in that game. So anyway, you've got the Cody Ross and the Brock Purdy Fire Department station, number 13, San Francisco's Fire Department. And that leads me to talk about Brock Purdy in this regard. You want to build an offensive arsenal that is tailored around Brock Purdy's skill set and what he does best. And Brock is we know that he's a great intermediate thrower. We know he has awesome accuracy on some of those passes. I think more than any other Kyle Shanahan quarterback up until this point, he excels at throwing high-pointed footballs. He did it in Iowa State. Kyle Shanahan doesn't like to call fades, and he likes more separation-based routes, and I get all of that, but I mean, sometimes, especially if you're not getting the separation, and it was definitely an issue for the 49ers last year, sometimes you do have to throw it into a crowd, and you do have to have a target that can go and beat really tight coverage. And Purdy did some of that at Iowa State for sure. I mean, when I went to Iowa State last year, I went there about a year ago. I went to Ames, Iowa, and I met with Iowa State staff, and Matt Campbell sat down in his office. We watched tape of Brock Purdy in college, and so much of what like the lore surrounding Brock there it was his ability to throw these high pointed footballs with accuracy. And realized the 49ers didn't do a whole lot of that before 2024. One of the most famous plays from this past season, it was a tough season for the 49ers, but one of the iconic plays in the season was George Kittle going up and catching over triple coverage against the New England Patriots. But that was the drive where Brock Purdy threw 3 touchdown passes. The 2 of them were nullified by penalties, but he threw 3 touchdown passes in one drive. The third one against New England it's a dime. It's exactly where George Kittle needed it to be. And then George Kittle does the rest with a sensational catch. Throws like that sometimes are necessary to beat NFL defenses. The 49ers finished ranked dead last, number 32 in separation last year, which is why you want some traits-based guys to get separation, right? That's why we're talking about Isaiah Neyor. It's why we're talking about the speed of Jordan Watkins out of Ole Miss. But sometimes you just have to put that football in a spot where the receiver can win. And Isaiah Neyor, when we watch the tape with the 34-inch arms, the long wingspan here, I don't have room because the mic, the long wingspan for Isaiah Neyor, because of the gifts that he has, he can win in some of those crowded, contested catch situations. And the tape shows us that he definitely can win in those spots. So I think that's when you're talking about tailoring the offense for Brock Purdy, that's a big component of it. Have guys that are separators, of course. You got to get that better this year because you did your quarterback no favors, ranking last in that category last season. But also make sure that you have guys who can win in crowded one-on-one situations, because there are some plastering NFL secondaries these days. Guys that can cover, but great, you can cover, fine. Are you going to be able to break the pass up, even if you're right on the guy, if he's 6'4", 220? That's a concern I actually have for the 49ers defensive backfield. They don't have the Richard Sherman size anymore. They've evolved away from that. So you've got Deommodore Lenoir, you've got Renardo Green, now you have Upton Stout, 5'8", 180. What happens when they face a 6'4", 6'5" Megatron type of body? Thankfully, Isaiah Neyor is on their team. So maybe that's a big break for the 49ers, but they're going a little bit smaller in the defensive backfield. I think that the one inherent weakness there is against jump balls for the 49ers, is in those one-on-one situations, which if you got a quarterback who's accurate enough, and we know Purdy is, and we know that there are other NFL throwers who can capitalize on height mismatches, if that's present, that can give an offense, a defense, a lot of trouble. Are people talking about the 49ers' 19 consecutive wins against the Rams? I remember those days back in the 90s. My dad had a friend, a Rams fan, and my dad would let him know every single time that streak increased a win all the way up to number 19. I think it took Kurt Warner and company and the Greatest Show on Turf to finally break it. Invader 49er, how long have you been a fan, man? Invader 49er always has historical context, says a lot of great stuff. I had to get Starbucks this morning. It's unfortunate. Sorry, this not meant to be a commercial for Starbucks. I don't really like Starbucks, but it was. I'm trying to get on this live for you guys before we go out to this brunch. And so my options were very limited this morning. Did we talk about the new tackles the 49ers picked up? No, but we can. And I made a dedicated video at SFO the other day on the new tackles. Andre Dillard, I think, is the prospect to really watch here. They picked up DJ Humphries the week before and Andre Dillard the other day. Nicholas Petit Frere I don't think he's as talented or as good as Dillard and DJ Humphries. Dillard and Humphries are both guys with injury backgrounds who were available in May, which tells you that, this is not premier prospects. They're both older, 29 years old for Dillard. I think DJ's already 30 now at this point. But the 49ers are looking for a swing tackle, and it's a numbers game. And they have really, really specific traits that are hard to find at the tackle position. So when you look at both of Dillard and Humphrey, since they're both former first-round draft picks, they have some of those traits. I think that especially Humphreys has the arm length, but they both have the speed and the explosion the 49ers want. Now the question is, can either one of these two show enough consistency to give the 49ers reason to believe that they're going to be solid at that swing tackle position? Comes down to that. And the more options that you give yourself, the more or higher of a chance that you have that one of them is going to work out. So it's a numbers game. They've got DJ Humphreys competing for the swing tackle position. They now have Andre Dillard competing. They have Spencer Burford competing. He played tackle at the end of last season. And I guess you could toss in Nicholas Petit-Frere, who the 49ers also added on Friday. Oh, we got some Isaiah Neyor Rookie of the Year hype. All right. Well, we could slow it down, but he's got the physical tools to make noise at the NFL level. That's what all I can say for the time being. And we'll figure the rest out later. We haven't seen Jim Everett in a while. I guess maybe he takes the off seasons off. Maybe he's in Maui. Did you guys see that the Rams are going to be running their veteran minicamp next month in Maui? I think the 49ers need to start doing veteran minicamp in Europe. Do one in Prague. Veteran minicamp in Prague at some soccer stadium. I'd be 100% for that because I'd get on to my European vacation a little bit earlier in June. Are we forgetting about last year's rookies? I never forget about last year's rookies. Let's check in on last year's rookies. Could put the roster up on the stage. I mean, I'll go through position group by position group. Isaac Guerendo, nice. He's trending in the right direction for the 49ers. Ricky Pearsall definitely trending in the right direction for the 49ers. Dominic Pooney definitely trending in the right direction. They didn't pick a defensive lineman. Tatum Bethune, we'll see. He's going to have an opportunity this year, but it's going to be crowded. Nick Martin, talked about him in the video yesterday. That video is blowing up. You go and check it out. Good news on Dre Greenlaw. Then we talked about the newest shark, Nick Martin. Renardo Green trending upward for San Francisco. I mean, it's a lot of rookies delivering in what looked to be starting roles for the 49ers moving forward. So I did not forget about last year's rookies. That was a good class, and the 49ers hoping to follow it up with another good class. All right, we're going to brunch. Someplace called Buttermilk Ranch in Nashville. Really good. If you guys want me to share pictures of the food, if it's good enough, let me know. Videos of the food. Maybe we'll do a video from Buttermilk Ranch. If you guys need any Nashville recommendations, give me a thumbs up if you want that. Otherwise, you should go into the description and you should check out. This is the article I wrote up on the San Francisco Standard on Mykel Williams. If you are not subscribed to the San Francisco Standard yet, you're not doing it right. This is the deepest 49ers coverage that there is on the entire internet. Look, Alfred Collins, Mykel Williams, and we're going to have much more coming up this week. Everybody, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you very soon. Oh, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. It's not that hard. Do it now. Bye.